Of course, we're just starting school this week. Everybody has reported back to camp, so to speak. And first week, I always let our guys kind of come in and get situated. Had a very good off season during the summer months. As you know, most of the guys got a chance to come up during the first summer session. Then, of course, in the second summer session, Gabe, young man we signed late, he got in on the second session. So I thought that was good because it gives them a chance to get that aha moment out the way, where they come in and get acclimated. And so therefore, coming in this fall, they're more ready to jump into school and eventually into the workouts. We're excited about this year coming up. You know, looking back at last year, we got some things accomplished that we wanted to. And one of the things was to get those seniors going out on a positive note. Moses, who has been the anchor for us for the last couple of years, Manny Watkins, just a glue guy, became a tremendous leader for our basketball team. And then, of course, Dusty Hannons, who was your leading scorer. And I just come over here today, and he's over in the gym right now, getting ready to work out with the Memphis G League team. So, so again, last year we want to talked about being dialed in for this year, learning from what took place last year, and hopefully applying those lessons learned. This past week was the first time I had a chance to watch the North Carolina game, and of course they were the eventual national championship team, and this just shows us how close we are. And so we got to take that experience that we had last year and be dialed in and ready to take it to the next level. You know, and obviously coming into this season, we've got a tremendous non-conference schedule, probably the best when you look at the teams that are on there. Probably one of the toughest non-conference schedules we've had. I know since I've been here, probably since I've been a head coach. And so, but I think this team hopefully will prove that it's ready for that. You know, going into the field night tournament, the PK80 tournament. Obviously, it's like a Sweet 16 there. So you got some great teams right off the bat. Three of the Final Four teams are in that tournament. So we know no matter who you play, it's going to be a tremendous task, but it's a great opportunity. So, and I think that's what I look at the non-conference schedule that we're playing. 11 of those teams that we're playing in non-conference have won 20 or more games last year. So that means every game it's going to be a great ball game. I think that's great for our fans. As a player, I think you look forward to that challenge. And with 6 seniors that we have coming back, hopefully they have that understanding, and we'll find out real soon. So the off season will get started as we get ready for year 7. Excited about it. The young kids that we brought in this past year had a good recruiting class to come in, and those guys, the sooner those guys really figure some things out, I think the better it make our basketball team depth-wise. And then you talk about the sophomores that we have that played well. Adriel Bailey, that guy was like I think in the North Carolina game, I think he probably played like 10 or 12 minutes straight going down the stretch, and that's great experience for him. And CJ, we're looking forward to him really stepping out and really helping this basketball team with the scoring, his athletic ability. And this team should be a fun team. I think we can play a lot faster than we did last year. I think we can really put a lot of the defensive things that we want to, whether it be extending the floor with the length and athletic ability that we have, and also even from a attacking standpoint. So looking forward to it. Off season is going to be big for this basketball team.
Michael, that Big 12 SEC challenge in Oklahoma State, do you guys have any say in that? And if so, did you want to play Oklahoma State again, or just what was your reaction?
Well, you know, it's you know, our conference. Obviously, it's a conference versus a conference, and so they between the SEC, I think, and the ESPN, I think they probably pair some of those teams up. So we have no sort of say-so who we're going to play.
That was obviously a rough game for y'all last year. What was your reaction when you saw you were going to have a rematch and this time you get them at your? Well,
we got a home game as our league versus their league, so it's another tough game. I think Oklahoma State coming from the Big 12, they were in the tournament last year. They got some guys that played in the tournament, so just look at it, it's going to be another opportunity for us to play against their league.
Everybody start the year healthy.
Thus far, everybody's, and knock on wood, Nate, they so far so good. Like I said, this week is the week I kind of let them kind of get the schooling, settle in, get the books, make sure they go into class, and of course, we'll do some testing with them, but we'll start the individual workouts, probably some this Saturday on into next week, and eventually get into the conditioning part of it. So we got a lot of work in front of us.
How much did the NCAA rules allow you to work with them over the summer, if any?
Well, over the summer, it was, 2 hours a week you can do individual workouts, and we could work out with the whole group at one point in time. There were a lot of times, so, probably 3 times a week, we work out with those guys for 8 weeks. For 8 weeks, 2 hours individual instruction. So, and then, of course, they did some stuff in the weight room. Try to build the base to get ready for this time of the year. So they had a good summer. They played their little pickup games, and more importantly, they kind of bonded. Just kind of, if you recall last year, we were going to Spain. We were speeding up everything. We actually had 10 practices that allowed us to get a feel for what we had, coming forward. And I thought going over and playing those games in Spain really kind of helped the process with those guys, with Barford, with Macon, even Cook. And I think he'll be even better this year, even for a guy like, we had 7 new guys. So when you talk about Dustin Thomas, that was big for him. This year was a little different. And so, therefore, as we get into the fall, I think it's going to be, they had a good summer, but I think it's going to be even critical to have an even better fall.
How important has Macon and Barford been in helping to lead your group of guys you have?
Well, I think they belong now. Last year, as a newcomer coming in, you're trying to fit in, and obviously they fit in really well. So now it's that next step, that next level. That's why we talk about dialed in. You got some guys that have been through the wars. Trey Thompson. We expect a whole lot more out of Trey, and we saw glimpses of it his sophomore year, even more so his junior year. Now it's his senior year, and we're going to have him to score and rebound and continue to give us that high IQ out there on the floor. He will be one of your leaders. Anton Beard. I mean, those are only 2 guys that have been here when you think about the last 3 years that have won 26, 27 games. So they've kind of been through the war, so they'll kind of be your veteran guys we've got to lean on. And Anton had a very good off season. He's changing his body right now. He's probably, his body is probably looking as good as it looks, it's probably since he was in high school. And I think that's going to make him a lot more quicker, a lot more effective, and we got to utilize that experience. But in having a guys like Barford and Macon, I think all that does is kind of reinforce the experience factor that we talked about, because now they feel like they belong, as well as a guy like Cook, Orlando Cook, along with Dustin Thomas. So we're going to lean on those guys. They've got to prove themselves because nothing's given. But we're going to lean on those guys a lot this year, and this is probably the most experienced team I've had since I've been here. And so let's hope that leads into a lot of positive things, and those positive things got to take place off the floor. That's why I say the off season, even in the classroom, they had like over 3.0 GPA in the second semester. So they keep doing the right things on and off the floor, and what that does, it just translates to what's going to take place on the floor.
You've obviously got a lot of scholarships for the 2018 class. What are you looking for in that group to kind of add to what you have here on campus?
I mean, when you look at what we're losing, and we're losing 3 tremendous perimeter players. When you talk about the guard play, perimeter players, in Beard, Barford, and Macon. Then your forwards, you're talking about Cook, Trey Thompson, a guy of size, Cook, a versatile forward, and then Dustin Thomas, who's a utility guy. So we certainly got to fill those spots and get some more size and getting some more guard play, guys that can score, put the ball in the hole, and play the way we want to play. That is, I'm big on the versatility part of it. But we've got to have some guys that can come in and impact. When you lose 6 guys, we got 6 seniors. That's almost half of your ball club. So you got to have in the right guys coming in with the right mindset. So we've been very, very selective about the guys we do bring in.
Adriel, I think, talked back in March about wanting to improve his shot, his ball handling on the like over the course of the offseason, so he can play on the perimeter more. How's he progressed maybe in those two areas?
Well, he had a good off season, and this is the time you do it in the off season. I thought that's why I said this summer was going to be big for a lot of guys on a lot of fronts, and Adriel, as you know, alluded to, he played quite a bit going on the stretch. He was very, very effective out there. So now he's got to put some time in, and he did this summer, and he will continue to have to. Now we'll see, because that's individual stuff. Now we're talking about, now we're going to start trying to put all this stuff together. When you start practicing in October, you're going to talk about, you know, putting together your team, and we'll see if those things that he talked about improving have they come to fruition when we actually go and work out. So, but this team here, again, they're the gym rats. I mean, it's not like one or two guys are in the gym. They got all these guys in the gym, and they're putting time in. I thought that was the difference in our team last year. We had guys that we shot 76% from the free throw line. That tells you guys are really getting in the gym and putting some time in. And if we're going to be a team that I really feel we're going to be an attacking team, can attack you defensively as well as offensively, then we got to be able to get to the free throw line and knock down some free throws.
How's it gone for Gafford in practice, getting kind of knocked around by guys like Trey and Dustin Thomas and those older guys?
It's been good. You know, it's probably probably the longest period he's been around those kind of guys, where guys are pushing him around, knocking him down, beating him down the floor, and so there are some things he's got to figure out. But his body, I think he put on maybe 10 pounds this summer. I mean, and I think Adam Petway, Coach Petway, is doing a tremendous job in getting him to play a lot longer. You know, in high school, you can get away with some things. As I say, he's taller than everybody. He's always being triple team, double team. And now he can run like a gazelle. I mean, the guy can really, really run, you know, very much so like Bobby could. And his skill set will continue to get better, but I think he's battling. He's fighting out there. He's got a chance to be a very, very special player.
Mike, you said it's probably the toughest non-conference schedule in all your years. I think what this is going to be a 15th or 16th year.
Yes.
Was that by design, or you were going to have a pretty tough schedule, and then the Nike thing comes along, and you can't turn something like that down? Just why is this the toughest schedule?
Well, I think the culmination of that, what you just talked about, you know, obviously have an opportunity to be invited to those tournaments. That's what we used to happen here at Arkansas, playing in those type of events, and I thought that was great. And then we had some return games, and then you got the SEC Big 12 Challenge. So I just think, you know, things just kind of lined up in terms of having a schedule like that. But you know, every team, I always say every team, you can't look at the names on the jersey. And so when you look at some of the teams, Bucknell, which is a part of the Field Night tournament, coming in and playing those guys, I mean, they're really, really good. Fresno, a team that was in the Final Four, I think, of the NIT. They was the NIT tournament, I know that. And Bakersville in the Final Four. So the teams that, when we were talking about some of the mid-majors, they're some of the best mid-majors in the country. And so we're playing all those guys. Troy State, I mean, you name it. I mean, we're playing those guys. And so, and every game's a big game, even as we talk about this team here, because this team has to become a team. You know, last year's team, we know what that identity was on that team there. It was a team that shot the ball well. We played multiple defenses. This team here, we still yet to know. We have some of the common ingredients that we had last year, but we've got to figure out who we are. And I want to be a team that, number one, defensively, that's going to be our priority. We're going to defend people, and obviously we want to attack offensively and create mismatches. I think our guard play right now stands out for our basketball team. When you look at the guards that we have, I think that's a plus for us. And so now our forwards have got to step up, and I think they will. I really, really do believe, you know, Trey and you talk about Adriel Bailey. Those guys will step up. Dustin Thomas. This is his senior year. Orlando Cook. So that sense of urgency, that being dialed in and taken to the next level. And that's what we're going to be all about.
You talk about that Field 9 Classic and being invited to play in that. It's a pretty prestigious thing in one spot to have that many teams.
Well, I think it's starting off the bat. You're right into a Sweet 16, so to speak, and so you're going to find out a whole lot about your team, whether it be good or bad. You're going to find out early on, and so I think it's a tremendous opportunity for our team. It's a great challenge as well. You know, the beauty of it is, you know, everybody be playing neutral site. The only teams that have the home court advantage are going to be Portland State and Portland, and of course Oregon is right there. So I just think, you know, to start off the season, it's one of a kind tournament. There's not, I don't know of any tournament that has started off like that. We have 8 teams there in the same locale, 2 buildings right there by each other. So and it's these are Nike schools, so it's going to be big. TV is all over it. So I think it's a great way to start off the season, and especially if you get some rhythm, get some momentum early on.
Glad to have a couple of games before then.
I think that's big key there, and those are tough games too. So hopefully they'll be all in preparation and getting us prepared, you know, for what's going to take place.
I guess you got more Saturday SEC home games than you've had in quite a while. How big is that? Because obviously, generally speaking, you're going to get more people on a weekend than you do on a weekend.
Well, it's something we've been beating the drum to. You know, I think, you know, since I've been here, we hadn't had each year we hadn't had as many, maybe 2 or 3, something like that. So for us to, the one thing about our fans, they show up. And so now let's help our fans by, you know, having some of those games on Saturday here. So now the challenge for our fans now is to pack the bud. You know, we feel we got a very, very exciting team, a very experienced team, team that's looking to take it to the next level. And obviously our fans help us do that. So, and having some of those games that are going to take place on Saturdays where people can get here, we want Bud Walton Arena to rock like it's never rocked before.
So that's something you guys had talked to the conference office about. Hey, you know, we're tired of having all these Saturday road games. Let's get some more.
Well, we bring fans. I mean, you know, obviously the SEC. I think the league is in a much better place. You know, last year we took on the challenge of playing tougher schedules, and guys, we talk about playing those schedules, but you got to win games. And I thought, you know, teams did well. So now our league, I think, was stronger from top to bottom, and that's a tribute to our coaches and to the SEC for, you know, kind of mandating it a little bit. And then we went out in postseason play. You had 3 teams in the Elite 8, Sweet 16. So, and of course, we just probably a basket here, a basket there from getting there. And so I think that momentum will continue throughout this year. But when you talk about Bud Walton Arena, it's a special place to play. And I think TV likes coming here. I think the SEC like featuring games here. And so now we've got the platform, so now we've got to take advantage of it.
Your opening conference play, I know it's just a few days earlier, but actually in December, and you're doing it actually at home. Just talk about those 2 things of it being a little bit earlier and finally, you know, get to open at home instead of traveling like y'all had to.
Well, even when you talk about the SEC, everything's kind of, you know, with us putting that game, the SEC Big 12 Challenge, obviously it pushed our starting time in conference play back into December. And so, but a number of conferences do that. We did it last year, and we didn't take advantage of it. You know, we had a tremendous atmosphere here with Florida here, and they came in and sort of stole one. So, but, you know, as I said, Razorback fans, conference play, which is a new season, and of course, I think we'll know more about our basketball team at that time. So it should set up for exciting atmosphere, and we'll be ready. This year, you know, we'll be coming off of a break, but we have a game before that. Last year, we didn't have a game. We kind of went right into the conference play after coming off of a Christmas break. We played in Little Rock. Guys had a few days off. We came back and went right into conference play. Well, this year, we put a game in there, so we'll be in a better, hopefully in a better playing mode. And so for you guys, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Lee Mayberry won't be on the sideline this year. He took a job at Watson Chapel High School as an assistant coach. Of course, his wife is working at UAPB at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and so he's moved down there with his family, and so